Thokozani, I am Pobadimu and I welcome you to my channel. Today I'll be talking about Ukuphahla, a very deep topic, but I'll be touching base on a few things today, and then hopefully, should Hlozi allow, I'll do another video on this topic once again. Ukuphahla is very important. It plays a very significant role, especially with spirituality too, because that is how we get to communicate namadlozi wethu. Other people might talk to their ancestors differently or certain things, but Tina, as thina siyabantu abamnyama mesikhuluma namadlozi wethu sisuke siphahla. So mawuphahla, you obviously address your elders ngenhlonipho. Awuphahli umile, uphahla uzithobile, and uphahla, you address your ancestors ngendlela that you'd address your elders, because they are elders after all. Because masiphahla siyaguqa regardless of how old you are egcekeni, but sonke siyaguqa ngedolo, sishaya isandla, sicele ngokuyithoba, siyathwala, siyabhinqa, siyavala amahlombe, sihloniphisa lento esuke senzayo, because sisuke sikhuluma nabantu abadala. Because the minute usiqale uphahla uya emsamo ubiza amadlozi wakho, in your mind you're probably thinking ukuthi you are calling upon ugogwakho nogogwakhe, but you actually calling upon a squad, of people. When the whole statement of my ancestors are my entourage, that is basically it. So it's very important to understand your lineage as a person and know ukuthi buyaphi, so that uma uphahla emsamo ubiza amadlozi aright, because those ancestors are who, or rather they are the people that ascend to your calling. Let me just put this picture in your mind for a minute. The minute you start uyemsamne, impepho isnefi ikhandlela, the minute ulayita ikhandlela, ne, that is what I normally call your location pin. Because the minute angisho uyaphahla uyabiza ukuthi nina bogogo, nina bobani, and then the minute you ulayita that candle and the snake, that is your location pin. So you're dropping your location to your ancestors, you understand? And then they all come, they come there ascending around you, ready to hear ukuthi what do you have to say, you understand? So it's important that when you address your ancestors, you do so knowingly ukuthi why you want to address them. Isn't this fananalezo? So in my previous video of umsamo, the importance of umsamo, I do readdress Ukuphahla and why we need to have umsamo, because you cannot communicate namadlozi wakho ungenamsamo. When you need to communicate, you can communicate with your ancestors, mhlambe we-one yazbogogo in ini, but when you really want to delegate certain seriousness of certain issues, uyaphahla, uyacela. Like that is calling a meeting. Basically, ukuphahla is calling a meeting yamadlozi wakho. Sometimes isibika izinto, sometimes usukucela, sometimes uyabonga. So basically, when we do that, sisuke siphahla, you understand? So I'd urge you, if you haven't seen my video, just go back to my previous vids and check the importance of umsam. So I will hear people that say, Gogo, I do not know how to uphahla, or I have a problem because I do not know where my ancestors, or isn't this fananalezo. That's where umsamo plays an important role, because umsamo is basically our look, how I can put it, it's our point of reference, is where we connect namadlozi wethu, because amadlozi maningi gogo, amadlozi maningi mkhulu, and anyeke uwaqede wonke, abanye you don't even know where they were buried. But having umsamo is important so that you address and talk to them. I'd normally hear people but bayahamba bayophahla ezigangeni, bayophahla at four-way stops and all of that. I'm one person who is totally against that. I'm one person, when it comes to ezintweni zabogogo, I take some things very seriously and to heart, because I'm like, you know what, some things we need to look at them, with logic and all honesty, you understand? One is singolile, in every way you can think of. spiritually, physically, whatever, isiganga singcolile. So I do not urge abantu ukuthi if you don't know amadlozi wakho, or you are still trying to find is anything pertaining your ancestors, that you go uyophahla esigangeni, because sometimes you go there uyophahla because esigangeni there's so much entities, you understand that, because abantu bayalahla esigangeni izinto zabo, ezingcolile, anything that you can think of. And what happens is that mawufika uphahla lapho esigangeni, you take home whatever entity, it comes home with you, posing itself, as idlozi lakho. Because remember, to someone that does not understand ukuthi, what should I expect mengphahla? Should I expect a bang on the door? Should I expect a dream? Should I expect this? Because remember, we're dealing with amadlozi, abantu esingababoni but abaphila nathi. You understand? So people bring home entities of the darkness because they were told ukuthi bayophahla at a certain spot. You understand? And sometimes that tends to become a problem. I always say you can never go wrong with having umsamo or setting up umsamo, because that is the privacy of your own home. It's not as if ancestors are dangling in the air and lost and do not know where to go. That's why I say when you start you are basically, calling them ukuthi izani sondelani, I need to address certain things. And knowing ukuthi ubani or uzalwa kabani, that makes more sense, because izithakazelo zakho, award will tell you about your lineage, ukuthi ubani uzalwa kabani, ubani uyenzani, into enjalo, so that mawuphahla you call upon amadlozi aright, ubiza wakhabo mama, ubiza wakhabo baba, ubiza amadlozi amahle. I always emphasize that, because sometimes we go siyophahla kule ndawo snacks and you end up bringing home entities amdaka, and you're not aware, and they come and they pose themselves as idlozi lakho and end up tormenting you spiritually. So even the same thing, you phahla at a crossroad, I don't know, a four-way, whatever they call it, and they say it ascends the four corners of the earth. That is please don't do that. I urge you, don't do that, because you cannot want to ascend your ancestors at a four-way somewhere. You understand? Amadlozi, you need to understand the concept of idlozi, before you can urge to go and do that, because it's like your ancestors, you are ascending them, ukhuluma nabo in the middle of the streets, because go wena lama four-way intersection, abantu still bayalahla, kuyagabha lapha ebusuku, kuyathakatha, you don't know. And when you go there in the morning, uyahamba uyophahla, or ebusuku, or izinto ezifana nalezo. So we need to understand our spirituality. Singayenzi into enzima or into engcolile or into complicated. It's just that yithi si-complicator for ourselves. If you do not understand when it comes to using those edlozi, these three things, you'll never go wrong. Impepho nesnef nekandlela. Communicate to your ancestors, you understand that? Because I've heard instances of people doing that, and they come back sebathwele izinto endlini. You find ukuthi kulelo kona wherever wenza umsamo kuyathusa, kuyasinda, it's not good, and you think what is the presence of your ancestors, kanti there's something creepy sitting there, because ama ancestors awahlale koneni gogo or mkhulu. That point is a point of connection, but because of you went and did izinto eziningi, I mean, would you go uyokhuluma nomamakho ku-four-way streets and ask her to bless you and ask her ukuthi akukhanyisele indlela? Now let's be realistic. Let's say your mom has passed on, or your parents. Would your elders take that ukuthi you addressing us lapho, or you are addressing us esigangeni? That's why I always say, if mhlawumbe you have a problem with setting up umsamo, it's important to go home, your birth home, la uzalele khona, and ask for help when it comes to izinto ezifana nalezi, so that we don't end up doing izinto ezirong, because that's where we find our spiritual husband. Nilanda butigoloshi lapho, nilanda all these entities that you're not aware of, but because you take your pahlestratini, spirituality is clean, but that's why I always say it's better when you know, you understand that, and then and you can do things better. That's what I always say. So it's important that amadlozi wakho, that's the utmost communication namadlozi wakho, because I know someone will get frustrated ukuthi my ancestors are not talking to me. What are you expecting your ancestors to come in and sit down? Ancestors work differently. They address things differently. It's up to you. I mean, you need to, as a person, ngoba ngiphahlile, be spiritually inclined to receive messages to what uphahlele, I mean, some people buy him some but because uzibani man uyangikolota ngiyompahlela, I think we need to draw a thin line between witchcraft and izinto zamadlozi, and people normally cross those lines. Our ancestors are there to help and guide us, bafuna ukusibonisa so we can live a better life and accumulate this knowledge that they have with them, so that we live better and know better. So it's important as a person to know such basic things and do that. So have umsam, it's very important. I think there's nothing to be ashamed of as umntana omuntu omnyama ukuthi nginomsam la ngihlala khona. There's nothing wrong, because usuke ukhuluma namadlozi wakho. It's past the stage whereby we always expect our elders to do the talking for us. Amadlozi wethu ame ngeenyawo, they want us, they want to help us. So when you do the first step to reach forward kubo, it's important that you understand what you are getting yourself into, or rather doing, because it's easy for people, to participate in religion and call son of smang oyenzeng ari, this is son of mang, I call upon son of mang. Anawe ukuthi ubizi ithakazelo zomuntu lapho, amadlozi lawo. But when we talk about izinto zethu zobumnyama, and then you borderline call this dirty. So it's not dirty. If it's dirty, stick to what you know best, but do not judge someone else's journey just because you're not on it. That is totally unfair. That's what I always say. So I hope this was insightful, but please take note, Ukuphahla is very important. It builds a strong relationship between wena nedlozi lakho, so that you avoid always having to ukbula estradini, having people coming you and telling you nonsense because they want your money, because they want to three. If you trust and believe gumdali and itonga lakho, things will basically make sense. I understand that. So do not be afraid to want to know. There's nothing wrong with knowing. The time is now. That is why we are here. That is why we are inclined. That is why we are so awakened. It's because amadlozi wethu amengenyawo, they want us to take back what is ours. So sitting back and expecting people to do things for you, or rather doing things because you were told to do them, sometimes kuhle ukubuza ukuthi why should I do this? Upumphumela walento lena mawuthi ngihambe ngiyophahla at a crossroads. What does that do? Where are the four corners of the earth? I always say all the elements that we think are they are around us. Impepho yakho, it's your fire, your water, all these elements. Mawuphahla, you are the water. And I mean, I think it's that's why I'm saying this topic is a very deep topic. It doesn't only need one video, but today this is what I was able to share and all of that. So it's not even about the I mean, we just need to open ourselves to spiritual. Don't let someone else do your ancestors for you. Do your ancestors for yourself, so you can understand better and do better, and avoid finding yourself in situations that you cannot get yourself out of. Because iyafana lento lena, because ngumvundla ngithi ngihambe ngiyofuna ithuna engalazi la kwamvundla. What if that person bekasebenzisa a wrong surname? It's that same thing when you say to me ngihambe ngiyophahla at a crossroad, or ngihambe ngiyophahla esigangeni, for all heaven's sake. So yeah, it's that sometimes we need to be honest ourselves. We end up being a joke ngale spirituality says, because izinto esizenzayo sometimes we as beg and think, is this necessary? So I'm one of those person. I always want the truth when it comes izinto ze spirituality. I respect and understand ukuthi why we need to do certain things, and I will not watch people being misled and be quiet about it. So yes, that is just about it for today. Please stay tuned to my channel for more content. Thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing my bets and all of that. I am Thokozani.